Hi. So far we discussed Laplace transforms, inverse Laplace transforms, okay, and also many properties involving integration, differentiation, and also the methods for solving initial value problems, shifted data problems, and everything like that. So we'll discuss a new concept here called convolution, which will greatly help you to find the inverse of many functions. Okay, so it is a problem which will actually ease the process of finding the inverse transforms. Okay, so how many methods do you know to find the inverse transform? One method is you can use the table. Okay, another method is you can use partial fractions. Okay, another method is you can use shifting theorem, first shifting theorem. Okay, and another method is you can use actually integration. Okay, so integral property, integration property. So these things we have discussed earlier. Okay, so we'll now discuss a new technique to actually ease the process. You can use any of the methods before also, no, but we'll just discuss now. Okay, suppose I need to find the inverse of function of the form maybe 1 by s square into s square minus a square. Okay, so I need to find the inverse of this function. Okay, so you can think of many methods here. One method is actually you can split it into two, like a by s square plus b into s square minus a square using partial fractions, and then you can find the inverse transform. That is one method. Another method is you can use the integration technique. What is that? First you find the inverse transform of 1 by s square minus a square, then you integrate it from 0 to t to find the inverse transform of 1 by s into s square minus a square. Again you do the integration, then you will get the inverse transform. So that is another technique. Okay, so we are going to analyze this from another perspective. So if you look closely at this function, you can observe that this is actually the product of two transforms here. You can see that this is actually the product of 1 by s square into 1 by s square minus a square. Okay, or it is of the form some capital F of s into capital G of s type. So this function is a product of two known transforms, and you know the inverse transform of this f of s. What is it? The inverse transform of f of s is actually just t. The inverse transform of this 1 by s square minus a square is just sine hat by 8. Okay, so that is the inverse transform of g of s. So the question we are going to ask here is that, is there any connection between the inverse transform of this function and these functions? Is there any relation between the inverse transform of this capital F of s into g of s and the related original functions small f of t and g of t? Okay, or to put it simply, I am just asking you, is L of f of t into g of t is equal to simply f of s into g of s? Just like, this is the question I am asking you here. Just like your addition. In your addition, you know that L of f of t plus g of t, we already know that this is equal to simply L of f of t plus L of g of t. So on a similar note, we are asking, does multiplication also have a property similar to the linearity property of addition? That is the product of two, is the transform of product of two functions equal to the product of the transform? So that is the question we are going to ask here. So the basic question is very simple. Is the inverse transform 1 by s square into 1 by s square minus a square equal to simply t into sine hat by a? So that is the question which we are going to explore here. So let us analyze this problem a bit deeper. Okay, so we will discuss convolution now, but this is the general setting here. So we are going to ask here, the question we are going to ask here is L of f into g simply L of f into L of g? Okay, so generally this is not true. Okay, for example, suppose you are taking two functions. Suppose I am taking my f as e raised to t, and suppose I am taking my g as 1. So what is your f into g? Your f into g is simply e raised to t. So what is L of fg? Your L of fg is L of e raised to t. So it is simply 1 by s minus a, or s minus 1 in particular. And what is your L of f into L of g? Your L of f is L of e raised to t, and your L of g is L of 1. So it is simply 1 by s minus 1 into 1 by s. So we can see that generally L of f into g is not equal to L of f into L of g. Okay, so they can ask you a counter example. So prove or disprove L of f g is equal to L of f into L of g. So these type of questions can come for your examination also. So you can think of these examples. So this multiplication is not well behaved with respect to Laplace transform, just like your addition. So what is the next best thing you can do? That's the question we're going to ask. So what is the next best thing possible? So the next best thing possible is, it's a simple result is that this L inverse of your capital F into capital S, or in other words, your L of f star g is equal to L of f into L of g. This is the best result which is possible now. So what is the star? The star is called the convolution operation. Okay, so this star is called, I'll introduce it now, but this star is a new operation, just like your addition, just like your multiplication, just like your division. It's a new process of combining two functions. So that is called star, it's called convolution. So that is called, so the property of convolution is that if you take convolution of f star g and then you are taking the transform, it will simply be equal to L of f into L of g. Okay, so this will make things easier because suppose we have function, you have to find the inverse transform of L, suppose you need to find the inverse transform of L of f into L of g. Okay, suppose I need to find inverse transform of this, or suppose I need to find inverse transform from capital F into capital S, capital G, just like our earlier problem of 1 by s square into 1 by s square minus a square. Okay, so what is the inverse transform? It is simply equal to nothing but the convolution of f star g. So that is where the application of this operation will come into picture. Okay, so in this case you find the inverse transform of 1 by square, that is simply t, and the inverse transform of 1 by square minus a square, that is sine h a t by a. So the inverse transform is simply the convolution of t star as well. So that is the meaning, that is the application of convolution. So before we discuss the application, let us now try to define what do you mean by convolution. Okay, so I hope the setting is clear. Here actually we were exploring problems in which we are discussing ways to find the inverse transform of product of transforms. Okay, so we are finding ways to find the inverse transform of product of two transforms. Okay, so that is where this idea of convolution will come into picture. Okay, so now let us introduce this convolution property, and then we'll use the idea of convolution to these inverse transform finding problems. Okay, so that's the idea here. So this is all we are discussing, all these concepts here. Okay, so generally this is the counter example here. So now let us discuss what is inverse transform. Okay, so how do you define convolution? Okay, it may seem to be difficult, but actually it is very easy to do it once you have some practice. Okay, suppose you have two functions f and g. The convolution of f and g is defined as simply is denoted by f star g, and it is defined as simply integral 0 to t. Okay, I'll just write the definition and then we'll do some problems to have a feel of the definition, and then we'll go to the inverse finding problems. Okay, it is defined as f of tau g of t minus tau t tau. Okay, this is the general definition. Okay, it may seem to be difficult, but it is not that difficult once you do the problems. We'll practice some problems also. Okay, so this is the general definition. Okay, so this is a textbook definition which is given to you. So there may be some confusion regarding this tau and t. You can easily confuse it. So I'll use the definition like this. I'll define it as f star g is equal to simply integral 0 to t f of u g of t minus u du. So this is the definition which we will be using, so that we will not get confused with this t and tau. Okay, so this is the definition of convolution. Just think of it as just an operation. It's just an operation. So once you compute this integral, you will get the convolution. Okay, so that is the idea. Okay, now let us try to do some problems so that we will be we will know better of these problems. So just let me write it once again. F star g is simply integral 0 to t f of u into g of t minus u du. Okay, so this is the definition. The textbook definition is this, so you can just go through this. If you want, you can use tau notation also, but I think you may get confused with this tau and t and this t and everything, so that is why I am using the notation of t. So it is simply integral 0 to t f of u g of t minus u d. Okay, so that is the definition. Now let us do some problems. Let us try to find convolution of some simple functions. Okay, so what is the convolution of e raised to t star 1? Okay, so as I told you, the definition of convolution is simply integral 0 to t, just write it, f of u into g of t minus u du. So what's the convolution of e raised to t star 1? It is simply integral 0 to t, in place of e raised to t, write e raised to u, f of u, e raised to u into, in place of g of t, you write g of t minus u, but this is a constant function, there is nothing to, no variable there, so you'll simply be getting 1 du. It is simply, what is the answer? It is e raised to 2 u in the limit 0 to t, that is e raised to t minus 1. Okay, so that is e raised to t minus 1. Okay, so okay, that is simply e raised to t minus 1. And before, as before, you can say that the earlier problem we had discussed what was L of f into L of g in the place of e raised to t. So you had seen that the inverse transform of 1 by s into s minus 1 is actually, you can say that what's the transform of 1 by s, inverse transform of e raised to L of e raised to t minus 1 is actually 1 by s minus 1 into minus 1 by s, that is actually 1 by s minus 1 into s. Okay, so and also you can see that the transform of e raised to t is 1 by s minus 1, the transform of 1 is 1 by s. So it is, you can see that e raised to L of e raised to t into L of 1 is actually 1 by s minus 1 into s, and the inverse transform of that is actually e raised to t minus 1, which is nothing but the convolution of e raised to t and 1, which I had discussed earlier. So you can see that convolution acts like a savior for this multiplication. Okay, so the inverse transform product of two functions is nothing but the convolution of those original functions. So we'll come to that later, but this is how you do convolution. Okay, so I hope you understand how to find e raised to t star 1. And before that, let me introduce one more property here. So what is the meaning of 1 star e raised to? Let us also try to find 1 star e raised to. Can you try to find the inverse transform, not inverse transform, can you find the convolution of 1 and e raised to t? What is it? So as by definition, it is simply integral 0 to t f of u into g of t minus u du, right? So what is here? So it is actually f of u is actually 1, g of t minus u is simply e raised to t minus u du. Okay, so that is actually integral 0, so it is integral 0 to t, so it is actually integral 0 to t e raised to t minus u du. So what is it? It is e raised to t minus u by minus 1. Remember, the variable here is u, so the product, the factor of minus 1 will come here in the limit 0 to t. When you put t, you will be getting this as e raised to 0 minus 1, so it is actually simply minus 1 minus the lower limit when you come to become minus, you will have plus here, and again if you put u is equal to 0, you will be getting e raised to t, so this is simply e raised to t minus 1. Okay, so you can see that e raised to t star 1 and 1 star e raised to t is the same. So that's an important property of convolution, that is f star g is same as g star. Okay, that's one important property, that is f star g. So you have to, the proof is not required, but it is simply, you can do it by just making some substitution in the definitions, very simple proof, but it is not required for you, so I'm not discussing it. One is f star g is g star. Okay, you can compute in any manner possible. If you want to, suppose you have some complex functions, like suppose you need to find the convolution of e raised to t into sin t, we'll come to that later. Either you can find this one, or you can find sin t star e raised to t according to your convenience. Okay, so it will make the computation much more simpler. You can do it in any way. Okay, so that is the important property. And another important property is the distributive property, that is f star g1 plus g2. F star g1 plus g2 is simply f star g plus f star g2. Okay, so these are some important properties. We will not be using this now, but I'm just giving it as a mention here. So that's another important property. Another property here is the associative property, that is f star g star h. Just like an addition, it is simply f star g star h. Addition and multiplication has associative properties. On the other hand, subtraction and division does not have it, but convolution will have it. So it's not required for you, but I'm just telling you. And another important property, you can always guess it, that is f star 0 is always 0. Okay, and what can you tell about f star 1? What is the value of f star 1? Okay, what's the value of f star 1? Is it f? Okay, so let us try to find it. So what is the value of t star 1? T star 1 is actually integral 0 to t u into, so remember the definition, f star g is integral 0 to t f of u g of t minus u du. If you remember this definition, this will simply be integral 0 to t u into 1 du, that is nothing but u square by 2 in the limit 0 to t, that is t square by 2. Okay, so t star 1 is t square by 2. So in general, f star 1 is not equal to f. Don't confuse it with multiplication or addition. So f star 1 is not equal to f. Okay, so generally f star 1 is not equal to. Okay, so that is it. So these are the properties of convolution. So I hope you understand how to find convolution. Now we will discuss the convolution theorem. Okay, and when we discuss the applications of convolution theorem, we will be working out more and more problems involving convolution. So we will discuss more problems on convolution after we discuss the convolution theorem. Okay, so this convolution theorem, as I told you, already you know it. Suppose your f of t has transform f of s. Suppose your g of t has transform capital G of s. Then L inverse of this capital F of f into g is simply f star g or g star. This is the convolution theorem. Okay, so you can see that L of f of t is equal to f of s, L of g of t is equal to g s s, then L inverse of the product is equal to simply f star g. Okay, The proof you can do it by yourself. It is simple computation only. I am not going to discuss it. It is not important, so I am not going to the proof here. But you can just go through the proof if you want. We will straight away go to the problems now. Okay, they won't ask you to prove it. It's simple thing. Okay, so let us try to find the inverse Laplace transform of 1 by s square into s plus 5. Okay, one way is you can use integration, or you can use partial fraction and everything. Let us try the convolution method. Okay, so the key lies in here in identifying this capital F of s and capital G of s. So can you see the capital F of s and capital G of s here? Yes. So if I take f of s as 1 by s square and g of s as 1 by s plus 5, this is of the form capital F into capital G, right? And what is the inverse transform of 1 by s square? It is simply t, that is your small f of t. Okay, what's the inverse transform of g of s? It is simply e raised to minus 5t. Okay, so the inverse transform of g of s is, so this is actually of the form f into g, where your f is 1 by s square and your g is 1 by s plus 5. So the inverse transform of this, as per convolution theorem, is inverse transform of 1 by s square is t star 1 by s plus 5 is e raised to minus 5t. Okay, so this is the inverse transform. Okay, this is from straight away from the convolution theorem. Okay, so we can either find t star e raised to minus 5t, or you can also find e raised to minus 5t star t. It is up to. Okay, so let's do this. So I hope it is clear. Okay, so the key lies in finding f of s and g of s. Now what is the inverse transform? So it is actually t star e raised to minus 5t. Let's try to find it out. What's the definition of convolution? It is simply integral 0 to t f of u g of t minus u tu. So how will you write this one? This is simply integral 0 to t u into e raised to minus 5 t minus u tu. So remember, in place of f of t you are substituting u, in place of g of t, in place of t you are substituting t minus u. That's the only thing here. Okay, now you can integrate it in simple integration. You can use the product integration by parts there. So what is it? It's simply u into e raised to minus 5 into t minus u by, so here just minus 5, u is the variable here, so we'll be getting plus 5, so it will be simply be 5 here. So be careful, you can make mistakes here also. Okay, minus 1 into e raised to minus 5 into t minus u, it is by minus 5 into again using integration here, plus 5, so into 5 here. So in the limits 0 to t. Okay, now apply the variables here. So we will be getting, when you substitute t here, you will be getting simply this as t. So when you substitute t here, you will be getting this as t e raised to 0, so t by 5. Okay, and the second one, when you substitute t again, minus e raised to 0 you will be getting, so it will simply minus 1 by 25. Okay, now give the lower limit 0, this will be 0, and this one will be simply be plus, because the lower limit will be getting plus, so it is e raised to minus 5t by 25. Okay, or in other words, it is 5t minus 1 plus e raised to minus 5t. So that is the answer of t star 5. So the inverse transform of this is actually this quantity. Okay, so you can also try to find e raised to minus 5t star t also, then also you will be getting the same answer. So please try it yourself also, that question also. So this is integration here. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Okay, again let us do one more problem here. Let us try to find the inverse transform of 1 by s square plus omega square the whole square. Okay, so this is actually very difficult to use integration and also partial fractions. The only way to use here is actually convolution only. So what will you do here? So in this case you can see that this is actually of the form 1 by s square plus omega square into 1 by s square plus omega square, right? Okay, the inverse transform of this one is actually, what is it? It is 1 by omega sine omega t. So this is also again sine omega t by omega. Okay, so the inverse transform of this will be simply sine omega t star sine omega t by omega. Okay, so very straightforward application of convolution theorem. And remember the definition. What is f star g? F star is, g is integral 0 to t f of u into g of t minus u du. Okay, so using that property, what is here? So you will be getting it as integral 0 to t, so be very careful here, sine omega u into sine omega t minus u du. This omega is a constant, so I am taking it as omega by omega square. Okay, very straightforward. Okay. Now how will you integrate it? It's a simple thing. You can use the product rule here and just split the integrand here. So what is it? It will be simply 1 by 2 omega square sin A sin B is 2 sin A sin B is cos A minus B minus cos A plus B. So using that property you will be getting this as cos omega u minus omega t plus omega u cos A minus B in the limit integral 0 to t, okay, minus cos omega u plus omega t minus omega u, so it is again cos omega t t, okay. So straightforward integration. So it is if you want it is simply 1 by 2 omega square integral 0 to t cos 2 omega u minus omega t, and second one is simply minus cos omega t and it is d. Okay, you can integrate it. It is simply 1 by 2 omega square. Integration of cos is sine, so it is sine 2 omega u minus 2 omega u minus omega t, okay, divided by 2 omega, okay. And the second one is, remember the variable is u not t, so you will be getting this as u cos omega t, not cos sine omega t by omega, because the variable here is actually u here, not t, okay. And then this limit 0 to u here. So it is when you substitute, you will be getting, when you substitute u 0, so limit is actually 0 to t here. So when you substitute, you will be getting sine 2 omega t minus omega t, that is sine omega t. So it is actually 1 by 2 omega square into sine omega t. So sine omega t by 2 omega, okay. Here we will be getting minus t cos omega t, and now substitute 0. When you substitute u as 0, you will be getting minus of sine minus omega t, minus of sinus minus omega t is plus sine omega t, so we will be getting plus sine omega t by 2 omega, okay. When you substitute u 0 here, this will be 0, so this is the answer, okay. So it is, if you can combine it together, it is simply sine omega t by omega sine omega t by omega minus 2 cos omega t, so that is the answer, okay. So sine omega t by omega minus t cos omega, so that's the answer here. You can see the application, okay. So that's the application of convolution theorem here. Again, let us do one more problem, okay. So what's the inverse transform of 1 by s square into s plus 1 whole square? I'll just give you the hints, the rest everything you'll do it yourself. You can see that this is of the form f of s into g of s. Your f of s is 1 by s square, okay. So it is 1 by s square into 1 by s plus 1 whole square. Inverse transform of 1 by s square is t. Inverse from 1 by s plus 1 square is again t into e raised to minus t by shifting theorem, okay. So it is t star t e raised to minus t. So I think it will be easier if you just take t e raised to minus t star t, okay. So it is for substitution it would be easier. So it is simply integral 0 to u integral 0 to t u into e raised to minus u into t minus u du, okay. That is integral 0 to t f of u into g of t minus u du. So using that logic, it is u e raised to minus u into t minus u du, okay. And then now, okay, so now we can, for integrate, I can just make some tweaks here. So this you can write as integral 0 to t ut minus u square into e raised to minus u du to make the integration easier, okay. So it is ut minus u square into du. Now you can integrate using the parts formula. So it is simply ut minus u square into e raised to minus u by minus 1 minus t minus 2u e raised to minus u by plus 1, okay, plus I think it is minus t minus 2u, so again minus 2 into e raised to minus u by, so be careful. So here the variable is u not t, so ut minus u square, then you will have t minus 2u, then you will have again minus 2 and e raised to minus u by minus 1, okay. In the limits 0 to t here, okay. When you substitute t, the first quantity will be 0, t square minus t square, it is 0 here. Second quantity will be minus t minus 2t, that is again t minus 2t is minus t, so it will be t e raised to minus t, okay. So it will be t minus 2t is minus t, so plus t, so plus t e raised to minus t, Okay, again if you substitute it here, it is again plus 2 e raised to minus t. So I don't know, so just check the signs also here. So plus t raised to minus t, and when you substitute u as 0, the first quantity will be 0, the second quantity, this one will be 0. So again this will be minus t e raised to minus t, but because of the lower limit it will be plus here, so it will be again plus t e raised to minus t again here. Okay, so again if you substitute it 0 here, you will be getting it as plus 2 again minus 2. Okay, so just be careful here. So second quantity is also okay, so I don't think it is here, so this one, it is a small mistake is here. So it is when you substitute t u as 0, this one will be simply 1, so it will be simply be plus t only. So it is t e raised to minus t plus 2 e raised to minus t plus t minus 2. Okay, so just check it out. So that is the method. Okay, that's correct, so that's it. So this is the application of convolution. So you can try the convolution. So please try to do more problems, so you have to better understand what is meant by convolution, because you can easily make mistakes here. So be careful with the substitution. F star g is, remember, it is f of u g of t minus u t. Okay. So I prefer the u notation, because in the case of tau notation, you can easily confuse between t and tau. So better use u notation. So both are just the same. Okay, so you can try some problems also here. So that's it. Okay, thank you.